Module Overview. Module 7. Abstraction in Time. Performance, Ritual, and Process focuses on how abstract and conceptual artists employ time-based actions, ephemeral gestures, spiritual rituals, and durational processes as primary mediums of artistic expression. Moving away from static objects like paintings or sculptures, this module explores the temporal dimension of abstract and conceptual art, where process becomes the artwork and the audience becomes a co-witness to evolving meaning. Rather than representing ideas through tangible forms, these practices emphasize the living presence of the artist, bodily engagement, spiritual energy, unfolding moments, and the metaphysical residue of acts performed in space and time. In this frame, the artwork often ceases to be a thing and instead becomes a situation, occurrence, trace, or performance, fleeting, raw, and real. First, time-based art and performance in conceptual practice. What constitutes performance art in the conceptual tradition? Performance as painting with the body, gesture, or absence. From Dada cabarets to Fluxus happenings, Bruce Nauman, Yoko Ono, Vito Acconci, and Marina Abramovich. Second, the ritual body, art as invocation and presence. Rituals in African, indigenous, and Eastern traditions. Joseph Beuys, shamanistic actions and symbolic myth, Ana Mendieta, earth body rituals, spiritual femininity, and displacement art as spiritual offering, not object production. Performance as trance, prayer, or invocation. Third, durational and endurance-based performance. The body as subject and material, pain, presence, and persistence. Tei-Ching Hsieh's year-long performances, Marina Abramovich's The Artist is Present, and long-form silence, time as both tool and test, mental, physical, spiritual duration. Fourth, process over product, materializing the immaterial. Abstract art as documentation of action. Jackson Pollock's drip paintings as records of performative motion. Eva Hesse's fragile installations as time-bound processes, ritual drawing, repetitive actions, and meditative marks. 5. Audience, participation, and collective ritual. The viewer as witness, participant, interrupter. Alan Capro's Happenings and the Birth of Relational Aesthetics, Tino Sehgal and the Immaterial Encounter, Spiritual Gatherings, Protest Performances, and Communal Catharsis. 6th, Feminist, Post-Colonial, and Queer Time in Abstract Acts. Challenging dominant time structures. Linear, capitalist, colonial. Lorraine O'Grady's performative activism. Wu Chang's use of queer space-time in immersive performances. Abstract gestures that resist historical erasure. 7th, archiving the ephemeral. Documentation, memory, myth. Can a performance ever be kept? Photography, video, writing, and mythologizing action. Sophie Kahl's poetic documentation practices the residue of ritual as a conceptual form. Studio assignments. Timed ritual performance. Design a 10-minute action that must be repeated for 5 consecutive days. Document the shift in meaning over time. Body trace. Use your body to create marks, without tools, as documentation of a movement ritual. Absent object. Create a performance where the central object or person is missing and absence becomes the message. Collective gesture. Collaborate with others to create a participatory event rooted in healing, protest, or ritual.